Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tuned. Today I am going to show you guys my new Mustang that I picked up a couple weeks ago. It is a new Edge. It's a 2000 Mustang GT, automatic with a 4.6 and has a nitrous kit. So I got a pretty good deal on this car. Around me, Mustang GTs sell from anywhere between like $3,000 and $5,000 ish, and this one's got fairly low miles. And it came with the nitrous kit. It's got subframe connectors and a Bama SCT tuner. And I got this car for $3,000 bucks, so I thought it was a fairly good deal for a new Edge, a V8 new Edge. There's a lot of other new Edges that I was looking at picking up, and this one, it struck my attention because I could have fun with it before doing anything crazy like an LS swap and a full race car build. So I figured this car would be awesome to have as like a kind of like a community car, you could say, for the rest of the season, and then maybe over next winter we just go absolutely nuts with this car. That's what I kind of want to do. I want to maybe do like a twin turbo build or a giant like 92 millimeter single. Something like that, and make this like tube front end, and I got a lot of plans. I want to do like an all-out race car build, but I didn't want to do it with my current Fox body. So my plan is I'm just going to race the Fox body as is this year, and we're going to run it, see how fast we can go with it, and then next year hopefully have this car to go fast with and look good. Look a little bit better. I like the body style of these cars a lot better than the Fox. I like the interiors better, etc., etc. So, yeah. Anyways, this car is pretty clean. It was like, I don't know, some of the paint is a little bit faded, and it does have really small rust back here. And the spoiler has like clear coat fading on it. And the other day I was actually driving this thing around, and I hit a critter going down the road, and it messed up the whole freaking front bumper, so that sucks. That is one thing I would like to get, maybe, is just a new front bumper for it eventually, and yeah, I don't know. But anyways, in today's video I did want to throw this thing on the dyno, and let me shut it off so you can hear me a little better maybe. I'll show you around the inside of this thing quick before I shut it off. Seats are super clean, power window car, Mach 1 stereo, or Mach 1 sound system. And then it has like an aftermarket gauge cluster backings on it. I don't know if you guys can hear, but in the video, out of the exhaust out of the back, it does kind of like sound really poppy, like it has like a slight misfire or something like that. When you get into it, it's really clean. It doesn't have a misfire or breakup or anything like that. Since this car literally came with a fully installed nitrous kit, the kid that I got it from told me he never sprayed the car and he didn't really mess with any of it. So we do have a Zex nitrous kit with a bottle heater, a purge, and everything set up. It has a window switch on the throttle. So whenever the switch is activated, as soon as your foot goes past 75% throttle, it turns the nitrous on. And obviously it is a wet kit. We have our gauge up here, and the purge comes out of the front bumper. When I did buy the car, the bottle actually has nitrous in it, so I just wanted to throw it on the dyno and maybe see what size jets are in it and see if the tune is close with everything like that. I actually put a wideband in this car already, and I played with the SCT Bama tuner and just deleted like the rear O2s, and that's pretty much it. And the car runs pretty good, like a 1240, 12.0 air fuel wide open, and you can adjust the timing with the handheld, like 0 to 2,000, 2,000 to 4,000, and 4 to 6,000, which, you know, is kind of bare bones, but we're gonna try it. But first things first is I did want to throw a set of spark plugs in this thing because it does sound like maybe it has a slight misfire at idle, and maybe it's just because the plugs are wore out, or it's just a Mustang thing. I have no idea. I don't really mess with Ford motors, but we do have another Ford, high-powered Ford coming on Friday for some dyno tuning that we'll probably be videoing as well. But like I said, time being, we're going to play with this thing, see if we can make some power with it on the dyno. And I'm also going to put some 110 octane race fuel in it, because I can't just change the tune for E85 with this thing. With the SCT, I don't really know it that well. So we are just going to use the factory tune, spray it with a wet kit, and put higher octane fuel in it so we don't have to pull a bunch of timing out when we spray it. But first things first is I'm going to throw a set of brand new TR6 spark plugs in this thing. I run TR6s on a lot of stuff, and a lot of Mustang guys use it when they spray nitrous too. So I'm going to gap these things at like 25, 28 thousandths and throw them in. This motor is actually a 2-valve, I believe, so they don't really have the issues with breaking the spark plugs like some of the newer ones do. I actually already took out one of them just to make sure like they would come out, and they came out really easy, so no issues there. But I'm going to get these spark plugs changed out, and then we're going to strap it on the dyno, see what it does all motor, and then we'll go get some race gas for it, put the race gas blend. It's going to be like half tank of regular, half tank of race gas, and then maybe we'll try to maximize it on just all motor, see if it picks up any power putting a little race gas in, and then see if it picks up power when we turn the nitrous on, and see how big of a shot this thing has built into it. And like I was saying, guys, I think it'd be really cool to have this as like a community car, so like my friends can race it, or you know, people that haven't gotten into racing or never tried racing. I think this would be a really cool car to have that people can try out racing with, and I could just kind of offer that to them. All right, guys, so I actually got all the plugs changed on the Mustang, and I'm going to show you what the one of the plugs was like smashed on this thing. So I couldn't even fit the spark plug gapper in here. It looks like maybe it just got smushed from some detonation maybe, or I don't know, or it got messed up when they installed it. But this plug was definitely causing the car to like pop and stuff at idle. Like it had a misfire at, you know, low speed idle and stuff like that. And now I put those TR6s in, gapped them at like 28 thousandths. Just gapped them a little lower, so when we spray it, we won't have any spark blowout. That is a big thing, is you always want to go colder on the spark plug heat range. Then you always want to give the spark plug gap, you want to tighten it up, just so you don't have any misfiring or breaking up while you add a power adder into your build. A lot of times when you have misfire and breakup issues with a power adder, it can hurt the motor. So it's always good to just be safe, gap them down, and won't have those issues. So I got the car all strapped down onto the dyno, and I went to the gas station and I got some VP 110. I spent $40 and I got 5 gallons. But like I said, better safe than sorry with this thing. I want it to last and be able to have fun with it for this summer. Maybe have the girlfriend race it, or a couple of my other friends that haven't gotten into racing before. Maybe give them the keys to this thing and have them go rip it down the track, just so they can kind of experience the joy and stuff that I get from drag racing. I feel like this car would be awesome, because I feel like it will 60 foot very well with like 150 pill in it, and a set of slicks, and it may only go 1250 out the back door, but it'll 60 foot hard, which I feel like a lot of guys need to experience that to enjoy drag racing and to get the rush that I love. So for now, I'm just going to do a all motor base run with this thing. Dynoing it in second gear, because third gear will literally go to like 140 mile an hour or something like that, and I really don't, this motor doesn't make that much power to utilize third gear on the dyno. So we're just going to do second gear runs, which will do like 95 or 100 mile an hour, which would be perfect, because I'm assuming this thing will make like a little bit more than 200 horsepower as is. So I do have the wideband installed too. I just run it off my cigarette lighter in the car. So we have the AEM X series chilling in here, so I'll be monitoring the air fuels and everything like that. And then once we do our first baseline run, I'm just going to turn the bottle heater on and the nitrous kit, and then crack the bottle open and see how long it takes for the bottle heater to give us a little bit more pressure than the base. You know, when you just have like a normally cold bottle, you get anywhere from like 550 to 700-ish PSI of bottle pressure, but we want to have the most bottle pressure possible so we get the most out of the jet size that is in this setup. So let's just do a quick baseline NA, and then we'll turn the nitrous on for the second run and see what it does then. Alright guys, so when I came out of second gear, I put it in drive, just so it would kind of slow the car down a little bit. I put it in drive so it wouldn't be hanging RPM really high. But to start off, we did make 209 horsepower, 260 foot-pounds of torque. So you guys can see the curve. This is kind of like a typical Mustang curve, I would think. Hang on, let me zoom in on it a little bit so you can see it a little better. There we go. The green one is our torque, and then the darker green is the horsepower. So torque stands up pretty good right away at like 3,000 RPM, but you know, it just constantly falls the whole pull. That's what's cool about Hondas, is they paint a really flat torque curve, but a lot of these like V8 stuff, they'll have good torque down low, but you know, when you're coming up, you know, say past like 5,000 RPM, it's just on a downward trend. So it's good to shift these things at like 5,300. There's no sense in spinning it out because all it's doing is falling off power-wise. And like I said, this is like a stock tune. I don't think there's really anything done on the tune-up. We're gonna hit it one more time and see if the power changes, if it overlays, what it's gonna do, but I'm gonna do one more run as is, all motor. Let's see what it did that time. So I got on it a little bit earlier. The first run that I did on the car, I kind of eased into the throttle just to make sure it wasn't going to downshift when I put it in manual too. I just wanted to make sure the car wasn't going to like all of a sudden downshift into first gear or anything like that. So that time all I did was I stood on it a little bit harder initially, and I started to run it like 2 grand, 2,500 ish, and that pass pretty much exactly overlaid what it did the first time. So that's a good thing. Yep, literally made the same exact horsepower, 209.77 to 209.73. So like literally overlaid perfectly. And then the torque, it made a little bit more, I think, because I stood on it harder in the initial run. These things make all the grunt down low. So yeah, pretty cool. If you guys have a 2-valve 4.6 liter, I'd be curious what if you guys have ever put it on a chassis dyno, what kind of power yours puts down. This one has a cold air intake that sits in the fender, and catless exhaust. It has 2 mufflers on it and stock manifolds. I think it has a aftermarket throttle body, but I'm not sure. I don't really know Ford stuff too well. But yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna put my camera back in my holder. All right. So now we are under the hood of this thing, and you guys can see that the nitrous goes right into the intake here, and it has a throttle switch. So anything over 75% throttle will activate the solenoids to turn the nitrous on. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to go turn the bottle on, and we're going to make sure that we have pressure. I have no idea how much nitrous is in this thing, or when the last time it was filled was, but we're gonna hit it and see what it does. Also, this is doing pulls unlocked. The converter is not locked, and in second gear. So I mean, it might make a little bit more power if the converter was locked, but not enough to really ride home about. Oh yeah, you guys hear that juice flowing through the lines? Make sure that guy's all the way open. And we are sitting a little bit below 600 right now for bottle pressure. This thing also has the purge on it, like I was saying. Let's unplug the wideband for a little bit. And then it has these two switches right here. So one of the switches activates the bottle heater, and the other one activates the actual nitrous system. So how I'm going to kind of figure this out is I'm just going to kind of turn the key forward. Actually, I don't even know if I need to have the key forward for these to work. But this one is the purge, the one on the side here. Yep, so the purge works with the key off. I'm assuming these ones will as well. So I have both of them flipped on right now. I'm going to shut one of them, and I'm going to hit the gas pedal and see if the nitrous turns on with that switch on. If it doesn't, then we know that one's the bottle heater. I have to label them to figure out what one does what, but... Okay, that is doing nothing. So let's flip the other switch on, and if it does something... I don't know if the key needs to be on either, so I'm just kind of experimenting right now. Okay, the key must need to be on for these ones to work, which would make sense. Okay, so we'll turn that one off. We just have the first switch on. And we'll see now if we get some nitrous coming through. Oh yeah, okay, that one sprays. You guys could hear it. So I'm gonna turn that one on and that one off. So the dark red is to activate the nitrous, and this one is to activate the bottle heater. So now I'm gonna leave the car sit for a little bit and see if the bottle pressure comes up at all. So currently, like I said, we are sitting at a little bit below 600. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes to heat the bottle up and see if that bottle pressure comes up at all. I think I might do my first pass with the nitrous on, say, like 700 bottle pressure we'll try for. And then the second pass, I'll leave it heat up for a long time and see if we can get it upwards of like 1,000 bottle pressure. Oh yeah, this one's getting a little warm. You can feel it. So I'm gonna pick up with you guys in a minute when we get some bottle pressure. And I have no idea what jets are in this thing. All I know is that the fuel comes in. I had the wideband plugged into it, and with the bottle off, I just made sure that it was getting additional fuel, and it is. So with the bottle off, or I should say with the nitrous off, and I floor it, or I should say the nitrous engaged, but no actual nitrous going up to the line. The air fuel went from a 12.0 to 12.5 down to an 850 on the wideband, so it was a lot richer. So I'm assuming this thing's got at least a 75 shot in it, but we'll see on the dyno how much it picks up. And we will also be monitoring the air fuel during the run too, to see if it's like really rich on the nitrous or if it's really lean, etc., etc. We're going to be monitoring all that. Alrighty guys, we've been having the bottle heater on for a little while now, and I am getting a little impatient. So I think I'm just going to do a run on sort of low bottle pressure and just see what it does. So we can kind of get a feel for how much bottle pressure it's going to need and what it's kind of jetted for bottle pressure. So if it runs good air fuel at this bottle pressure, that's where we're going to have to try to keep it. If it runs really rich at this bottle pressure, we will have to bump up the bottle pressure, which, like I said, this bottle could be pretty low. I have no idea how much is actually in it. And I left it sit for like 10 minutes now with the heater on it, and it's went up like 50 psi on the gauge. So hasn't really gone up a whole ton, but we're going to try it and see what it does. First, I'm going to actually purge out the lines, and I'll put the camera up front so you guys can see me purge. Alrighty, now all the air is out of the system, so when we smack this thing, it should come alive. We'll find out here in a second. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start the run at like 2 grand, floor it, and then flip the switch on to engage a nitrous. So you should be able to hear the car come up, and then come up even more when the nitrous hits. Alrighty guys, so we did pick up some power, and I was so like focused on just starting the dyno and flipping the switch for the nitrous and making sure I was floored, I didn't even look at the wideband. So I didn't run it out that far, but we did make 253 and 331 foot-pounds now. So we picked up 60 foot-pounds of torque, 62 foot-pounds of torque, and we picked up about 50 horsepower. So I'm gonna let the bottle heater do some more work, and I'm actually gonna stare at the wideband on this next run to see where the air fuel is on the nitrous. We're a little bit above 600 psi of bottle pressure, and like I said, in an ideal situation, you're gonna want like 1,000 plus for bottle pressure. 600 is weak sauce for sure, but I just wanted to make sure that all this is working. And maybe if one of you guys has like a jet kit for sale that you want to sell me, that we can maybe pill this thing up to the moon and go have some fun with it at the track. But I'm gonna go hit it again and just kind of see what the wideband's doing, and we'll go from there. Maybe I'll bring you in the car for this one. On these transmissions, you always want to make sure that you turn overdrive off, because you don't want to ever have them shift into overdrive wide open, because they will explode. Alright guys, we're going to start the run here. I'm going to flip the switch on. Yeah, this thing needs a lot more bottle pressure. It was in the 10s air fuel. It either needs more bottle pressure, or if we can maintain this this bottle pressure, it needs a bigger nitrous jet to accommodate for how rich it was there. All right guys, so just leaving the heater on a little bit longer, we picked up another 20 horsepower and another 54 foot-pounds of torque. So we added over 110 foot-pounds of torque, and we added about let me do my math here, 210 to 270 is 63 horsepower we picked up, and 110 foot-pounds of torque. So 115 foot-pounds of torque. So that is really good. There's a comparison, guys. Before, the red ones are all motor, and then the green ones are on the juice. So that's awesome. Like I said, I think this bottle is probably a little bit low on nitrous, but it is climbing on the pressure gauge slowly but surely. I've had the heater on for like over 20 minutes now. I mean, if the heater wasn't on there, I'd just be hitting the thing with a blowtorch just to get it upwards of 1,000 psi or more. But yeah, this thing, it will scoot with a set of slicks on it and 400 foot-pounds of torque out of the hole. It should be a lot of fun. And that's the best thing about nitrous, is it's there right when you hit it. Like there's no lag, there's nothing. When you hit that sucker, it's all or nothing. As long as the tires and the track will hold the power, this thing should launch like a freak with 400 foot-pounds of torque. And then if it blows up, blows up. YOLO. I would like to put like a 200 pill in this thing and really go fast with it, but I think these motors explode around like 450 foot-pounds or 500 foot-pounds of torque. I don't really know exactly what they'll take or what the rods will take, but I mean, I'm down to try. This thing's actually got a lot bigger jets in it than I thought it would. I thought it only had like a little 50 shot or something by the way that the spark plugs looked. There ain't no way they were spraying this thing with these plugs in it, that's for damn sure, because the plug gap that was in it on these old Motorcraft plugs, let me check here, 62 thousandths plug gap. So if they did try to spray it with these plugs in it, that may be why that one got crushed. I don't know. So I'm gonna do one more before we get out of here, and then that's gonna do it. I actually just been busy on Facebook trying to get back to a lot of people because I posted on there, sell me your project car. I don't know, I've just been bored lately with this damn coronavirus. I just want to wrench on some shit, and I'm waiting on some parts for all these cars to come in. So that's why I'm like, oh, screw it, we'll spray the new edge. And yeah, I kind of want to get another, like, I don't even know what I want. I have no idea what I want to buy. I just kind of want to buy something. Something fun to play with. And I want to get, I don't know. Like I said, I was thinking about just starting to buy, like, you know, junk cars or cars that don't run, fix them up and sell them, just as, like, you know, some more side projects that I can do. Like I'm not already busy enough, but that's just kind of my mentality. If I have like a day off and I'm not doing anything, I feel like useless, and I'm not, you know, I feel like I have to be doing something all the time, or I just get like depressed, you know. So I'm trying to just like stay active and do whatever I can to have fun, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. All right, guys, last run of the night that I'm gonna do. The exhaust sounds a lot better too now that I sprayed it with nitrous. I don't know, I'm just kidding. It isn't doing that popping shit anymore after I changed that one plug out. It sounds a lot better. Last one now. Like I said, we probably got a little bit more bottle pressure, but not much. So we're just gonna have to do our best and hope that it's a little bit more than it was the last run. Oh yeah, 412 foot-pounds of torque and 290 wheel. We're almost at 300 wheel horsepower and 412 foot-pounds of torque, guys. We picked up 269 was our best torque NA, 412 now. Just a little bit more bottle pressure. That's all it takes. Keep putting the bottle pressure to it, it'll keep making more power. All right, guys, so that's our differences now from, you know, obviously stock to on the juice. Literally picked up pretty big. Hell yeah. 412 foot-pounds. Damn. I kind of want to go try it on the street. Oh, one of my straps actually came loose. That's why the car was shaking around so damn much. The damn nitrous shook the strap loose. Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something about nitrous. And hopefully you stay tuned, subscribe, and hopefully see that car on some slicks very soon. I have a couple sets of slicks here. I just don't know what wheels I can get for the car that'll fit. I have some wheels from my G-body, my Cutlass, but I don't think they're the same bolt pattern as that. I will have to double check. But that may be something that we do in the near future. And yeah, stick around. We have some more cool stuff planned for the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great night and a better tomorrow.